Wait, do I have everything? Wait. Pinjam sana. Ya, sana pakai saja. Hello. I'm live now. What's up? What's up, everyone? So today I will do... Which camera? That one? Okay, so today, first of all, I'm Dino, what's up? And I will be cooking for you guys today. What I'll be cooking is, I don't really have a name for this dish. I just came up with it. I'll call it fish and tomatoes. So, here's the ingredients. You need an onion, some garlic, a fish. I chose red snapper, some tomato for the tomato part, basil, rosemary, salt, pepper, sugar, which is here. You have some cumin also, oregano, olive oil, butter, and some water. So the first step is to make the tomato component, I guess. So first you have to chop your onion. So, depends on if you like onions or not. You can either use half an onion or the whole onion. Since I like onions, I'm going to use the whole onion. So you got to chop it finely, like this. If possible, get a cutting station that's a bit mid, around this size, so you can sort of cut evenly, but you know, it's okay. You gotta adapt to your situations. Now for the other one, cut the same way. Actually, you can cut this however you want. You can even slice it. I'm dicing it because it gives a better mouthfeel. But I think people should cook how they want to cook. Okay, so when you're done cutting the onion, set it aside. I have this bowl that I'm going to put it in. After you're done cutting your onions, now you move on to your tomatoes. Now you can use normal tomatoes. I'm using the cherry tomatoes because they look nice. should use like maybe a handful. It depends on the amount of onions you have. Right now I'm using like maybe 10 pieces. These are pretty big cherry tomatoes, so I'm just gonna cut the top off and half them. And I'm just gonna take these green parts off. Even though they look nice, I'm not sure how they taste. So, what you do with these tomatoes is, it's actually up to you. You can even leave it whole, but I'm gonna have them like this. Okay, so now that the tomatoes are done, we can get started on the actual tomato component. So, how do I do this? There you go. It's on, the pan on. Now this is the time where you use your olive oil. You just open it up. Put maybe 1 or 2 of these spoons, so I guess a tablespoon or 2, into the pan. Yeah, 2 tablespoons. Okay, maybe more. You know what? Just do how you feel, because sometimes the recipe isn't good for your taste. That's why sometimes you have to adjust to how you feel. So you gotta wait maybe to get the pan a bit hot. Then you add your onions in. You get your onions in. Then you sort of saute it a little bit until your onions get the right texture. I guess I can. Whatever. While you're sauteing your onions, you can add a bit of salt. This is salt, right? To make sure what ingredients you have, you always have to taste. Yes, this is salt. Whew. Add a pinch or 2. Just remember, season every step of the way. I'm seasoning with onions here, and later when I add the tomato, I'm going to season it again. See, some of you might be scared to cook at home, but actually cooking is very easy. You don't need fancy ingredients or recipes. You can take the humble ingredients like onions, garlic, stuff like that, and make something really good. So don't be afraid. Maybe you can just get a cookbook, follow the recipe. You don't have to be a master chef. You just have to cook what's good for you. Well, this is sauteing over here. Well, actually, no, you're pretty much settled. Once you finish this tomato component, then you can start on your fish. So once your onions are smelling good, then you can add your tomatoes. Liga history. Now we don't really want to cook these tomatoes, we just want to add a bit of flavor to them. So while you saute them a little bit, you can add a bit more salt, some pepper, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cracks of black pepper, some cumin, just like 1, 2, 3, and just a little bit of sugar. Oops. So this is pretty much done. You can turn off the heat. It's off. It's off. Leave it in the pan for a bit. And this is when you can add your basil. Oh crap, got it. You'll need a few leaves of this basil. You can chop it, you cannot. I prefer to leave it whole. Or maybe just rip it up. Here, I think this should be enough. You can just rip it. And rip it. And you put it in and then you mix it out. And you mix it up with the tomatoes. Oops. It's kind of messy. And when the basil sort of wilts down a bit, you can just transfer everything into a bowl. Ini namanya fish and tomato.
Fish and tomato.
Itu aja, simple. So now this is done, you can just put it into the bowl and set it aside for later.
Pakai ikan ikan apa?
Kakap merah. Or as the fancy people say, snapper. Now don't do this at home, the pan is still hot, but I'm gonna wipe it. Cause I'm a gangster. Just put your trash all in one spot. Make sure it doesn't contaminate the rest of your ingredients. So you might be thinking, oh no, why is he wiping all that flavor away? But it's because the tomato released the moisture. And since we're gonna cook fish, if there's still moisture there, it's not gonna get a good sear on it. Yes. Okay, so now, let's prepare the butter for a bit, gotta open it, so that later when we want to take it, it's not hard. It won't take us a lot of time. I just put this to one side. Now we're going to season our fish. So you take this fish out, you pat it with the tissue paper to get rid of the moisture. You can get your fish in any supermarket. Do not be afraid of the fish. Now we will season it with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Now we'll add more olive oil into the pan so that we can cook our fish. Just add roughly about a tablespoon into the pan, then you turn on the heat. And while you're waiting for the oil to heat up, you can crush some garlic. Just crush it like this. Yeah. Just so you can get the shell off. The skin off. Garlic doesn't have shell. Dino, you silly fool. So you'll need 2 cloves of garlic for this. This one you can just keep it. So now I think the oil is hot enough. From that, now you just sear your fish. Get this piece of garlic skin away. Just put it into the pan. Woo, that's seasoned. Okay, so now for this fish, all you have to do is cook it for about a minute or 2 on each side, so that you make sure the outside has a good crust, but the inside is still juicy, moist, and delicious. Okay, this is a plate, never mind. We'll see this later. So when you're cooking fish, try to get a non-stick pan. Mine's non-stick, but it's kind of old, so like it kind of sticks. So you can still get maximum results if you get the best equipment. This equipment's kind of bad, so it's not going to get the maximum results. So now is the time, I think, well, not really. Wait another minute for it to cook. Then you can add your butter in the pan and the garlic. And this little baby, which I like to call the rosemary because it's called rosemary. Remember people, practice kitchen safety. Don't use your knife unless you need to. Now you should add your butter in. Add a tablespoon of butter. Like this much maybe. Okay, that's too much, but whatever. Fat is flavor. Then you add garlic and some rosemary. Turn down the heat. Okay. Yep. Go. Then this is what you try to do. You try to tilt it, and then you do the basting. Which is basically you're pouring the melted butter and fat on top of the fish so that the flavor gets marinated into it. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's so cool, right? Right? See? You can only learn this stuff in culinary school or YouTube, you know. Depends on your budget. If you have a lot of budget, you can go to culinary school. If not, just go to YouTube. Yeah. Or watch this, you know. Okay, so that should be done. While you do that, you just turn off the heat. Clear up your station. Clear up your station. Oh my god, this is a mess. This station is a mess. Woo! So now I'm just gonna wipe up this cutting board right here. Put it on your trash pile. Then you can just put your fish. Okay. Just put this fish. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It's breaking apart. Here you go. I got this. I got this. I got this. Oh yeah, I got this. Put it on your cutting board. There you go. And just spoon a little bit of this melted butter garlic mixture on top. Let it marinate. Just take everything out of that pan. Yes. And now you should be ready to plate. But let's see if our tomatoes are still hot or not. If they're still hot, we don't need to reheat them. You must give it a little taste.
Yummy.
Very good. And it's still warm. So now, that's basically it. Now it's time to plate. First, wipe whatever plate you're using so there's nothing in it. For this dish, first you need to put in maybe like a tablespoon or two of this tomato mixture. Just slap it down in the middle, like pow. Pow. Like that. And pow. That's right. And then take out all these seasonings aside and you can pick up your fish. Just use your hands, don't be scared. Put it on top. Like pow. Ooh, doesn't that look good? I think it looks good. And just for a final finishing touch, you can add like a few leaves of basil on top for a fresh herbaceous kick. Let's go with 3 leaves because of the rule of 3. This and wait, I need a smaller one. And here we go. One more. 1, 2, 3, and there it is. Maybe get a little bit of this butter-ish sauce on top and just drizzle it above. Like that. And there you have it. This is my fish and tomato. Yes. Ready to be consumed. Hell yeah. So yeah, this is the finished product. Thank you for watching and eat. I welcome everybody to try now. Yeah. Yep. This this is a quick recipe. If you're busy and you just want to cook something nice for yourself. This would also go well with any pasta or anything if you want. But this is just the basics. See you again next episode. Sometime, maybe after 6 months. Maybe, who knows? I'll be super busy though. I'll be super busy though. Okay. Which camera? All cameras. Bye guys. See you next time. That just looks pretty good.
Mohon dong itunya